Relationships are hard enough on a good day, but throw ADHD into the mix, and suddenly you're not just forgetting the milk. You're forgetting why your partner is giving you that look in the first place. You know the one. Maybe you're always late. Maybe you can't sit through an argument without zoning out, shutting down, or snapping back. Maybe you're both trying really hard and still missing each other completely. Today, we're talking about a powerful tool to understand what's going wrong and how to fix it before things spiral. And it's got a dramatic name, the Four Horsemen. Welcome to ADHD-Difference Strategies. I'm Julie Legg, your host, author of The Missing Piece and an ADHD advocate. Over the years, I've had the privilege of speaking with incredible guests, unpacking real-life strategies, mindsets, and tools for navigating ADHD. This Bitesized series brings those insights together, short, practical, and ready to use. Whether you're single, in a relationship, or somewhere in between, this episode is all about something we all deal with, conflict. Now, don't run away. This is the kind of conflict talk that's actually helpful. It's about patterns, awareness, and shifting how we relate, not just to our partner, but to ourselves. Today's strategy comes from my chat with Bryan Gastelle. He's a clinical psychologist and an ADHD-specialised couples therapist. And the concept he shares is the Four Horsemen of the relationship apocalypse. Yeah, it's a bit dramatic, but it works. Before we get into it, I'm going to let Bryan explain part of this in his own words.
When someone's needs aren't being met, oftentimes they'll start coming out in other ways, which is usually criticism. So when that criticism happens, what can happen as a result is the defensiveness. So if we're criticized enough, then, we're going to start fighting back, right? And getting defensive. Mm-hmm. And so that can turn into a problem in and of itself, as if one partner expects, or even both partners expect a problem, there will probably be a problem.
For folks with ADHD, communication in relationships can be tricky. Maybe you blurt things out without meaning to, or you forget what your partner said, and they take it as you don't care. Maybe your brain shuts down mid-argument, or you're accused of being too sensitive or too defensive. Again, Bryan works with couples where ADHD is in the mix. And what he sees over and over are certain patterns that cause disconnection, even when there's love. That's where the Four Horsemen come in. It's a framework developed by Drs. John and Julie Gottman, who've spent decades researching what makes relationships thrive or fall apart. These are the four communication styles that predict relational breakdown if left unchecked. Criticism. Now that's attacking the person, not the behavior. For example, you're so selfish. You never think of anyone but yourself. Defensiveness. Shifting the blame and denying responsibility. It's not my fault you're upset. You always overreact. Then there's contempt. Sarcasm, eye-rolling, name-calling, superiority. This one's the most toxic and the strongest predictor of separation. Then there's stonewalling, shutting down, withdrawing, going silent, often a response to overwhelm, but it feels like abandonment. ADHD can amplify every single one. Emotional dysregulation, rejection sensitivity, trouble processing in the moment, executive dysfunction. All of that makes conflict extra intense. And if you don't have tools, well, those four horsemen will gallop right through your connection. This is especially powerful when you keep having the same argument on repeat. Maybe one of you shuts down while the other gets louder. There's sarcasm, blame, or a sense of walking on eggshells. Forgetfulness turns into resentment. or you both love each other but feel unseen and unheard. This is not about blame. It's about naming what's happening and shifting it. The first step is awareness. Just noticing when one of the horsemen show up actually can change everything. And once you've spotted it, here's what to do instead. Shift to I statements. The opposite is you statements, and we often get stuck in this too. You never think about anyone but yourself. You always leave everything to me. Now, these statements attack your partner's character, not the situation, and that instantly puts them on the defensive. Whereas I statements, I feel overwhelmed when I'm carrying this on my own, or I need some help here and I don't know how to ask without snapping. It presents the same issue, but with very different impact. When it comes to defensiveness, practice accountability. So defensiveness sounds like, well, you're not perfect either. It's not my fault. You didn't remind me. You're just being too sensitive. Now, these responses shut down the conversation and make your partner feel unheard. Whereas accountability sounds like, you're right, I forgot. And I can see why that hurt. Or, I didn't handle that well. I hear you. Let me own my part. And this doesn't mean taking all the blame. It means taking some responsibility so repair can happen. Contempt is the big one. It's eye-rolling, sarcasm, mocking, even jokes that sting. Contempt sounds like, oh my God, here we go again. Or, wow, you're being dramatic. This is the horseman most strongly linked to relationship breakdown. And once it creeps in, connection erodes fast. So instead, you could say, that came out sharper than I meant. Can we reset? Or I'm feeling frustrated, but I don't want to be unkind. Can you help me understand what you need right now? This shift keeps the door open, while contempt slams it shut. For many ADHDers, stonewalling isn't intentional, it's overwhelm. The nervous system floods, words disappear, and shutting down feels like survival. Stonewalling can look like going silent without explanation, walking away mid-conversation, saying, I'm done, and leaving it there. But to your partner, that can feel like abandonment. Instead, try and take a break and communicate, and it builds safety instead of distance. For example, I'm overwhelmed right now. I need 15 minutes to calm down. Can we pause and come back to this shortly? I need to process a few things. The research backs this up. The Gottman Institute found these four horsemen are highly predictive of relationship breakdown, especially contempt, which has the strongest link to divorce. ADHD adds another layer. Emotional dysregulation is now recognized as a key part of adult ADHD, making conflict more reactive and intense. That's why strategies that focus on emotional regulation, communication repair, and nervous system calming are especially effective in ADHD relationships. Basically, if you learn to spot the horseman and switch gears, you give your relationship a fighting chance. Bryan said, conflict isn't the problem, disconnection is. You can love someone deeply and still struggle to understand them. You can have the best intentions and still miss the mark. You can be neurodivergent and still have beautiful, healthy relationships, but only if you stop galloping in circles. So next time you feel the tension rise, spot the horseman, take a breath, and try a new way forward. A big thanks again to Bryan Gastelle for sharing this strategy and for being part of the broader ADHD-difference conversation. If you'd like to hear more from that episode, head over to our main series. You'll be looking for Season 2, Episode 28, to hear more of his ADHD insights. Links are in the show notes. Thanks for tuning in. For more practical tools for beautifully different brains, hit the subscribe button.